Hello and welcome to Enrichment's virtual art room. My name is Miss Hannah and today we are going to be talking about paste paper. Paste paper has been around for a very long time, centuries even, and it was originally used by bookbinders. They would make it out of the leftover bookbinding paste that they had, decorate some papers so they could make the decorative covers and inside parts to the books. So say you have your plain old book like that and you open it up and it's a picture there. This is how they used to make that paper. So let's get into it. Alright, so we have our paper prepped and ready to go. I have it taped down because I'm going to be doing this one-handed. Perks to not having a thing to hold my camera for this. But before we continue, I want to show you what the paste paper is going to look like kind of afterwards. These are a few that I made beforehand. Here we go. This first one, blue. I took my finger, I kind of squiggled in some designs there. If you were in my class, we actually made a few of these. We did a lot of things with them. So if you're familiar with this, hey, you already got a head start. If not, I'll show you how to make some of these cool designs. I think this one's my favorite with the swirl. I like it a lot. Alright, so the recipe for this is simple. It is 7 cups of water boiled, and then set on a side you mix together 1 cup of cornstarch and 1 cup of cold water. So once that 7 cups of water is all boiled and good to go, you mix in the cold water cornstarch, and almost immediately it turns to a gelatinous glub that I have here. It's really gross actually. Super fun to play with though. So we are going to be using this stuff and making our paste paper. So let's get started. First, I have some in a little cup here. Now as you noticed, these are colored. That is not. We're going to fix that. So for this one, I think I'm going to make a pink paste paper. So I have my pink acrylic paint. This is magenta. But you're just going to squirt a little bit of that in there. Like magic, everything's mixed together. Alright, perfect. So we are going to take this paste paper. We're actually going to paint it on. So I'm going to come over here. I have my water pan and my 1-inch, 2-inch brush. Going to dip that in there. It's hard to coordinate, man. Doing 2 things at once. And we are just going to paint our paste on. This will give it a very, very thin initial layer, and that's okay. Because the great thing about this, you can go back in, I get a nice little glomp, and you just keep putting it on. And you can, if you want, just leave it like this, just as the paper painted over. However, what I think is super fun, you take a nice spoonful, glomp it on there, and you can use your hands for it too. So you can apply it with paintbrushes, you can apply it with your hands. Honestly, you can apply it with whatever you want. So you just kind of spread it around. This is great for younger kids and anyone, if you're like working on sensory issues with a child. You can make it really warm, you can make it really cold, you can do really anything with it. So I'm just kind of going to make some weird goopy, like, that looks about right. And that's honestly how easy it is. I usually let this dry overnight. It does take a little bit. And you can see if I go like this, featuring my cactus, you can see that there's some raised areas from where the paint scooped down more, like there and there. And that's okay, because that's how all of the other pieces of paper were, like this, so where there's darker color, the areas were raised. But as it dries, the paper absorbs the water, and those areas go down and get absorbed, and it leaves a flat surface. The paper will curl as it dries, that's okay. I'm gonna give more, because it's just fun to play with. After all the papers are dry, what you can do, you can flatten it one of two ways. You can either put it between a bunch of books and flatten it that way. That's a little bit longer of a process. A quicker process is you can iron the paper. Get your ironing board and then put the paper on top of it. Put a towel on top of the paper. That way it's not being, direct heat is not being applied. And just go over your with your iron a few passes. It might take a little bit, but it's definitely shorter than pressing it under books. So I'm actually going to show you another way you can do paste paper. So I may or may not have gone overboard. So what I did, I mixed a bunch of different colors. So you don't only have to do one solid color for this, you can mix a bunch. And I kind of spotted them around here. I'm using some other pictures of different paste papers that I saw online as inspiration. Here's the one that I'm using. And I kind of wanted to get the multicolor marbly type effect, but I'm going to put my own little twist on it. So there's a watercolor technique that you can use where you paint the picture with watercolor and then you put plastic wrap on top of it, and it gives it a cool like underwater crinkly effect. So I'm going to try this. I think it'll probably look more like a tie-dye, but you know what? Only one way to find out. You kind of bunch it when you put out, so I just kind of, and I wouldn't be mad if things kind of mix together too. Give it a nice squish. Roll 1, 2. All right, let me see. Pull it back for the reveal. It's a kind of cool texture. Just gotta wait to see what it looks like when it dries. But yeah, so that just shows you paste paper is such a versatile thing. You can do honestly anything that you can think of. Make any color, any pattern. I also made one previously. I actually made this to sign a book that I made, a sketchbook. I made this, which is did a first layer of like a maroon color, then I laid lace over top and painted it. So honestly, the world is your oyster. Whatever you can think of doing, do it. And that's it for this video. I know it's short, quick, simple, an easy project to do. Anyone can do it, young and old. It's super fun. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Take a look at Enrichment's Facebook page for events and upcoming summer camp. It'll be fun. For the paste paper, you can use it for cards, you can use it for frames, you can use it for anything that you can think of. So the world is your oyster. Go forth, create. I'd love to see what you guys are making, so please send pictures to StarkEnrichmentArt@gmail.com. So until next time.